Welcome to the vlog, everybody. We're on the road. It's about 6 a.m. Looking forward to the drive. Got some questions I'll be hitting up pretty quick here. But first I need to drink my coffee so I can wake up a little bit. See you soon. Just on a side note, guys, apparently Melissa's new car purrs like a baby. Like a baby. Second side note, babies don't purr. Alright guys, here we are. Got halfway through my coffee and I'm ready for some questions now. I may or may not have had...
He fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep a little bit. I might have fallen. I might have
over an hour.
I might have fallen asleep for like half an hour, 45 minutes. Gotta get that rest in. Okay. Melissa's gonna focus on driving. I'm gonna read you guys some questions here that you guys left me on my Facebook page. Really appreciate the questions. Gives me some content, and more importantly, gives me content that I know you're looking for. So here we go. First question from Crystal. Why do we sabotage ourselves when it comes to diet and exercise? The biggest reason why we sabotage ourselves is because we like it, right? So one thing that I've learned through listening to like different things and just watching people is we make these decisions in life based off of pain or pleasure and what we associate to these things. So if you're sabotaging your diet because on the weekends you like to go out and party or you like to have pizza on the weekends or whatever it might be, it's because you associate more pleasure to eating those foods and doing those things than you do to staying on track. You don't associate enough pain to falling off the tracks and sabotaging as you do to not having that food. So it's kind of like when somebody like breaks up with their boyfriend or girlfriend and they go to the tub of ice cream because it feels good. It's because they're associating more pain to not having the ice cream in that moment than to having the ice cream in that moment, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just, first of all, just raising your standards and knowing that you're doing it for a reason, know why you're doing it. And then the other thing is trying to associate more pain to the sabotage. So really I don't want to say like make yourself feel bad about the sabotage, but associate more pain to it in a way that you're saying like, okay, this is not good for me. Why do I keep doing this to myself? This is not good. Associating more pain in that moment of wanting to eat that pizza or whatever than pleasure. Hope that helps. If you have more questions about that, then I'll talk more in depth. Oftentimes I don't say it the way that I feel like I should say it in the video. I always think of a better way to say it afterwards. But so if that wasn't clear, then just hit me up and we can chat a little bit more about that. Thanks, Crystal. So the next question I had, how to keep one rest day from turning into 2 or 3 or a week. So the biggest thing with that is, one thing that you could do is turn your rest day into like an active rest day, where your rest day you're going for a walk or you're going for a jog or something like that, or maybe on your rest day you're just doing a little bit of core, bike ride, something like that, but you're doing something that's just like a cardio or just something that's not as intense as a rest day. Your rest day doesn't have to be you do absolutely nothing. It can be a lot of different things. And then the other thing is just maybe like having like not more than one rest day in a row. So sometimes people like to just take the weekends off, and that's like their weekend is rest. But if you find you're getting into a habit where it's hard to get going again on Monday, then maybe try and put like a workout day on like Saturday or Sunday to break up the weekend, so you're not getting into like almost like this like null in the weekend. Those are 2 tips that could help.
Especially if you specifically eat bad on the weekend.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like if you're if you are sabotaging on the weekend, going back to Crystal's question, then having that workout day on the weekend can really help to like keep you accountable, especially if you do it like in the morning on Saturday or something like that. Then it gets you in the right mindset for the rest of the weekend. That was a good tip. Thanks, Melissa.
My pleasure.
That question was from Melanie. Really appreciate it. Keep crushing it, Melanie. All right. Is cardio or weight training more beneficial when you're trying to lose weight after the age of 50? Weight training, always. It doesn't matter what age you are. Age is just a number. I firmly believe that, and I've seen it time and time again. I've talked about it before. I've got a client. The guy is in his mid 60s, and he's still crushing it. He's made leaps and bounds through. Technical difficulties there.
It was a hill.
Melissa's a bit of a maniac with this new engine that she's got, so I apologize if the phone falls. I've got it propped up, kind of. Yeah, this guy that I have, he's a client. I've been training him for years, and he's just crushing it. He hits the weights, no excuses, and yeah, age is just a number, but weights is going to be way more beneficial. Cardio mixed in as well, but what happens, guys, is when you're building lean muscle mass, your body is working harder. So when you're building new muscle, your body is working harder. Plus, when you do weights and you're on your rest day after that, going back to the rest days, your body for like 24 to 72 hours is still building muscle after you've done weights. So while you're resting, your body's still burning calories, working hard to build up that muscle. So then it just comes down to nutrition, just getting lots of your protein and your carbohydrates and stuff like that in to help your body build those muscles efficiently. And then, yeah, your body works harder when it's got more muscle on it. So weight training is number one, and then just incorporate some cardio into that as well. That was a really good question. That one was from Candace, so thank you. Brittany asked a question: how can I make protein shakes so not boring, aside from adding fruit? So kind of a difficult question, just because there's not too much context with it. I don't know what you're putting in your shakes currently. I don't know how high the calories are in the shakes and that kind of thing, or what type of shake you're using. If you're not using protein powder in your shakes, then adding a flavored protein powder can be really beneficial and helping out with that, just to get that little extra flavor in it. Plus, it's going to bring your protein content a little bit higher. You can add just little bits of flavor, like things like cinnamon can be added to it, where you're not adding any calories to it, but you get a little bit of flavor. Some different spices. Melissa just said honey. You can add honey. If you have a lot of fruit in it already and your carbs are higher, then honey, you might not need it, just because it might be sweet enough already. But if you're finding they're really bland, then adding a little bit of honey can add that flavor. A little bit of vanilla, stuff like that you can add in. Finding things that are like very low calorie that add some flavor, and just a little bit of it can be helpful. Otherwise, just mixing up the fruits and doing different things, if you're getting bored with it, can be really helpful. Yeah, peanut butter once in a while. I used to do, when I was bulking, I would use peanut butter a lot more in my shakes, but it's because peanut butter is so high calorie. Other types of butter that you can get, like almond butter, that kind of stuff, but just mixing it up. Try different things, and go online, search fun protein recipes. You'll find tons of them. Fun smoothie recipes, and you'll find tons of them on there. Either in person or shoot me a message and tell me exactly what you're putting in your protein shakes, and then I can maybe help you try and like make them a little bit more interesting. I'd be happy to do that. Stephanie says, what should I eat after a workout so I don't eat everything? I'm just gonna hold the camera here because Melissa drives like a maniac for those. Okay, sorry. So what should I eat after a workout so I don't eat everything? High protein after your workout. So get a protein. There's no like, meal timing is doesn't have to be super specific. Like you probably like, there's so much information on the internet that says like you gotta get it in this window, that window. You really don't have to. There might be a little bit of science that shows that it's a little bit more beneficial to get it in here, but as long as you're getting it in, that's what's more important. As long as you're hitting this amount of protein within the day, that's what's most important. But after your workout, if you get really hungry afterwards, getting in some protein and some high fiber carbs, so things like salads and stuff like that, are things that are gonna really fill you up. Protein's gonna fill you up more because it takes longer for your body to break it down and absorb it, so then you feel fuller for longer. So getting protein in right after your workouts can be really beneficial for that aspect especially. So things like a protein shake would help. If you want to do like a chicken breast or something like that with a salad, that would be really good. Even a protein bar could help too. Those are all good options.
There's some good ones out there that taste like chocolate, if that's what you're looking for, is the sweet.
Yeah.
I know Stephanie.
Next up, we got a couple more questions here. I'll pound through them. Okay, so the question here is, what should I eat when I have a drop in blood sugar? So if this is specific to working out, and I'm just gonna like, in like a generic case where you don't have a diabetic history, then what I've seen extreme cases and I've seen not so extreme cases. But in both cases, if somebody's blood sugar is dropping really low while they're working out, and you get that energy drop, and just like I said, I've seen extreme cases where people will kind of almost go into diabetic shock before, or you just feel like super lightheaded, nauseous, feel like you're gonna pass out, that kind of thing. Just get a fast absorbing sugar into you. So something like an orange juice or an apple juice, or like something that's really high in sugar that's going to spike it up to help with your energy, and then just getting some good nutrients in you after that will be helpful as well. If you have like diabetic issues, then that's something that you should consult your doctor about like, there's so many different cases and specific to the individual for dietary needs throughout the day with blood sugar dropping and stuff like that. There could be insulin issues, that kind of thing. But workout specific, if you feel like your sugar's dropping during your workout and you just feel drained, then just get some sugar and use something like an orange juice or an apple juice is going to absorb really quick into your body. I think I have one more question here. Sorry, I closed it. It says, what should I eat before I work out, and how long before a workout should I eat? So that's from Colette. So I kind of covered this already, but meal timing is not super, it doesn't have to be super specific. So you don't have to eat like this much protein and this much carbs right before you work out within the 20-minute window, or this much of this and this much of this. I like to personally try and get some fast up or some slow absorbing carbs, so like some more complex carbs like vegetables and stuff, and 25 to 30 grams of protein before my workouts, and then do some fast absorbing carbs like white rice or something like that with another 25 to 30 grams of protein post workout. But really, like I said earlier in this Q&A, is just as long as you're hitting your protein, your carbs, and your fats goals for the day and keeping your calories on point, that's bottom line the most important thing for you to do to be making progress with your fat loss or with your muscle gaining. But yeah, there's no specific time or window that you really have to hit those things. Those are just like personal preference and lifestyle. If some people react poorly when they eat right before they work out, and some people need to have food in their stomach when they work out, otherwise they feel nauseous. So it kind of comes down to the individual. How do you feel? Play with it a little bit, test it out. But yeah, that's kind of what I like to do, is the complex carbs with 25 to 30 grams of protein pre-workout, and then post-workout get those simple carbs with 30 grams of protein post-workout. And sometimes I get it right after, sometimes I have to wait a little bit if I have a client right away afterwards, but just getting it in eventually That's what it comes down to. Thank you guys so much for all your questions. Looking forward to continuing this drive. It looks like a nice day today, and see if I can bring you some more content along the way. We'll see you guys soon. So for those of you who don't live in Alberta or British Columbia and you don't know about Frank Slide, it's a pretty amazing story. So the footage that you just saw of the mountains there, the big rock slides. So back in 1903, I think it was, there was a town of about 600 people and 82 million tons of limestone from the mountain came crashing down on top of the town. There's about 90 people that were killed from this, and it's just like there's some incredible stories that come around from that. But now the highway is obviously cleared. They've moved the rocks to either side of the highway, and yeah, it's phenomenal stories that came out of that, of people who survived. I read a story about a horse that was trapped basically underground for like a month, and then the miners found him later and he survived. Just some incredible stories, and just a cool piece of history that we get to see on a regular basis when we're traveling. There was also a baby that that was found that was missed by everything. And that's where the name comes from, because when they found her, she didn't have her parents or anything like that. I think her parents maybe died, but yeah, so they ended up naming her Frank, and that's where it comes, the name comes, Frank Slide. Alright guys, we just got some breakfast. I just crushed some emails. Back on the road. Let's go. What was it that you had just said? Can you tell the people?
You were right for once in your life.
I was right? You guys saw it here. I was right. What's up guys? Been getting ready here for the big party that's tomorrow. Lots to do. I was still thinking about maybe hitting legs. So we'll see. If I do, it'll be an outdoor workout. But we'll see how much stuff we get done. Decided not to do the leg workout today. Beer one.